going to be announcing our pitches. And the first pitch is with Honda.
Good evening, everyone. Just continuing what Tariq just said, play shop. How about starting my session with small exercise with me? Just all you need to do is this. I don't need mic for this. Can you just take your hands and just rub like this? Quickly. I'm going to count 3. All you need to do is just give your best smile to the person sitting right to you, not left. Person sitting right to you, okay? Your best smile, okay? 1, that's fine. You need to one again. Okay, when I count to 3, you need to clap and then you smile, okay? So, 1, quickly, faster. 2, 3. Don't look at me. Look at the person sitting right to you and smile at the person, okay? We're going to do it one more time, okay? Quickly. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful, okay.
Tarun is the training manager at Apparel, so you can now make this.
Okay, I need to live up to the expectation. My boss is here. Appraisals are coming. Where is Dharam? Yeah, okay, he's here. Okay, so our study basically about Edge. I lost my papers. Okay, no worries. I don't need papers. MTP, to begin with, our massive purpose was to add happiness on the move, adding happiness of the move for everybody. My dear friend Puneet basically lives in Sharjah. He travels all the way from Sharjah to Jebel Ali, spending approximately 3.5 hours every day. He's a successful banker. But all he do in these 3 hours, holding the steering wheel and drive. Now he's a successful, professional. And for successful people or professional people, time is money. But he's doing nothing in these 3 hours. That was a big concern. Now, we came up with this smart idea called virtual reality interface for the car, which adds value in your driving experience. Basically, it gives happiness in your overall drive. How? This virtual reality, when you sit, you go inside, it gives you a lot of options. We have a service professional inside the car called Honda Captain. So as soon as you enter, and for example, he's driving to his office, but he forgot to take some important printouts for his meeting. He say, Captain, I need some printouts. The application, the algorithm, basically connects him with a service provider who can give the printouts on the go, right away. Not only this, his shirt is not ironed, and he needs to attend the meetings. But he has 2.5 hours to basically travel inside the car. Again, Captain, and Captain will connect you with the service. Not only this, Captain can book your flight tickets, hotel reservations, anything you need, Captain will do it for you. Not only this, once you're driving, it's a self-driven car, and that interface lets you watch your favorite match on the go. Okay? Okay, you want to add, Puneet?
So basically, building up on that, the MTP here is live your life on the go. So the problem statement actually is, here is somebody who's traveling and does not know what to do with the time. So this is an application that we're building up primarily on an experiential self-driving car. So it building up on the experiential concept where it's about having entertainment, sports, your official related works, your personal related stuff. So broadly on those categories, this particular concept is what we're working on. So it's primarily going to be an app that conceptually what we're calling as the Honda Connect or Honda Captain, which is a concierge services. It's kind of a paid services concept. From an attributes perspective, where it's a staff on demand, the concept is you'll be tying up in partnerships with various providers. For example, it could be Netflix, it could be Bloomberg, it could be a lot of services that we spoke about, okay, building upon entertainment and all these concepts. From an algorithms perspective, it's about customization. So when I'm actually in the car, this is my demographics and psychographics. The artificial intelligence gives the recommendations when you're driving on the way. per se. So that's broadly the whole ExO attributes will kick in. From a revenue generation perspective, the way it's working out is it's primarily the paid services. As you go into the whole usage of the services that you have, that you use on the whole drive, is how the revenue will be kicking in for the Honda as a concept. So that's the Edge initiative that we proposed, which we discussed with the team and was kind of nominated. So that's broadly what it is.
And it's basically, the features also contains not only, so some cars are basically not self-driven, okay? So you can choose to have certain seats as virtual reality oriented, like if you're traveling with your wife, or she needs let's say, nail paint services, so she can ask the captain, and captain will connect with the person who's basically coming and giving you services inside the car itself, or while you're on the move. You can connect with that, okay? So that's that. Thank you so much. And
Salim, may I borrow you? Because we need to give some instant feedback, and we need to be a little bit careful in terms of time, because it is getting fairly extended. It says 5 minutes? No.
58 seconds.
No, she stopped you there. So just as an initial thought, Salim and whoever else was leading that segment, Francisco, who was their coach in that segment? Corina, if you can come here and give your thoughts and feedback, just quick ones, quick comments, what they came up with and what you think as a coach.
Well, I think the three teams did a great job on getting the attributes done and doing the work there. What I like about this idea is the fact that having added services, like somebody that iron your shirt, or somebody that paint your nails, or things like that, because the car knows that you're going from point A to B. That idea of getting these people in the car and out of the car, I really like that idea, and I think that it could be core or edge, depending on how they will move forward with that. But I think it's a great exercise and great team to work with.
Okay.
Well, congratulations on the idea. I really love the MTP. I think that adding feelings into the MTP is a great thing and so needed, right? So happiness on the move, I think, is something very, very powerful. I love the MTP and the approach. So whatever come out of the initiative will be something good for sure. Well, in terms of trying to give you some feedback and input for the future, well, I think that this is so powerful that you should do it beyond Honda, right? Because if you apply that only to Honda cars, right, it's like an add-on, it's a core initiative, as Corina was saying, but if you are basically like building an assistant for mobility in general, and whatever car you get and you are driving, you have your assistant with you always, because there is value on that, right? That's a really ExO. Because otherwise you are constrained in order to grow, right, within the limits of the current market that Honda has, right? But if you go beyond, right, and you don't have any constraints, any limit, you can do like an amazing thing. I really like it. Thank you.
Quick suggestion to them. One is, I like the addition. I agree with Francisco. If I could add more intelligence to my Uber driver, that would be great also. But more importantly, I think you could sense what the person is doing and add more guidance to what he or she should be thinking or doing. Right? More than just sensing the externality. But I love the idea.
Great. Everybody wins. Everybody's getting a prize. Only the winners are getting the prize. Everybody else is a winner. Everybody's a winner. What am I doing?
I don't know.
So the Shell leaders come in. So the format is you present, you get some feedback, you get your award, and when you get the picture, everybody from the Shell group comes there. And I'm learning.
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to thank Salim, and I would like to thank my coach for all the inspirational learning. Thank you very much. I and my team, and I'm sure all of us will use a lot of this learning back in our businesses at work. So thank you for that. I start with our MTP. Our MTP for Shell, the new MTP for Shell is we make future-friendly liquids to make technology flow. What that means is that Shell is principally a lubricant company, but we plan to change this, and we plan to become a liquid company. Liquid because new technologies are emerging, technologies such as drones, robots, flying cars, spacecrafts, electric scooters, 3D printing. So as much as the combustion engine where lubricants are required will soon be retreating from the market, but new technologies come and there's just much more space for all kinds of new liquids to play a part. So as Shell, we plan, as most of you know, flow is very important. It's part of my MTP because liquid represents 70% of the Earth mass. 70% of the Earth is water. And what's important is that as much as there's liquid, there should be flow. I mean, things should be fluid. Frictions should reduce. Frictions among people should reduce. Friction among objects should reduce. Friction in moving parts should reduce. And that's where we see liquids playing a very important part. Future friendly because we have borrowed this Earth from the previous generation, and we should keep it intact to hand it over to the next generation. What we plan to do is we plan to use our R&D facilities for it to become a platform. When we open up our liquid sciences, our liquid requirements, or the technologies that we need to develop to the internet, to the world, for it to be crowdsourced, and we get it developed. We will use the material sciences algorithms that are available, as shared by Salim, to test at a very low cost. Whoever contributes to ideas, we make sure that they partake, they have an equity, a stake in either the idea or the execution of that particular liquid that gets developed. At the same time, we cannot forget our 700,000 workshops that depend on us. So we plan to leverage 3D technology, give all our 700,000 workshops that we cater to with 3D machines and printers, and we will supply them all the liquids and materials required to take 3D printing to the next level, as that's the future. I mean, we're going to be 3D printing our houses soon. So we see a great need. We take our existing stakeholders with us. We don't leave anyone to hang dry because we are a liquid company. We will also give our R&D facilities to anyone and everyone to leverage off so that liquids can make life flow. Thank you.
So first of all, I really like that you're leveraging what the company is already really good at. Obviously, we're focusing just on the lubrication division here, but thinking really about all the new high-tech industries that are coming and being prepared for that. Love the crowdsourcing idea and the ability to help some of your partners that we were talking about offline. And so you've really built some of those ExO attributes into gamifying and spreading this out, and also using the facilities so that you can really also leverage that 3D printing very specifically. So I like it.
Thank you. Well, I like the fact that you are thinking about the future and trying to find your place there, right? And that's important. Not all the teams or not all the companies for sure are trying to do that. So I think that's really, really good. However, I think that you have to let it go. I mean, because you are still thinking about liquids. Okay, that's fine, right? And there is, I mean, there is value there, right? There is value, and I agree with Emilie. But also another approach is like, well, if you are stick to the liquids, right? What happens if there is not liquid anymore or whatever, right? But I think that you have to think and to ask to yourself, what is the root value that liquids or lubricants in this case are bringing to you, whatever, right? Is less friction, right? So if we are thinking about drones, why don't building something like an operating system for global operating system for drones in order to coordinate flights among all of them? So there are less frictions and less collisions among drones, right? Something like that. But in general, if you stick to the physical world, which is liquids, and you don't jump into the fully digital world, you might have like a hard time to become a real exponential organization, right? When you were talking about the platform, becoming a platform, I think this is the right way to go. going towards the platform direction and forget about the physical side, because otherwise, let others do it, because if you don't, if you stick to the physical side, I think it's going to be harder to scale. But the platform idea, I think, is very powerful.
I thought the idea of opening it up to other people was really awesome, because when you allow other people to come in and use the labs, you'll get an explosion of interesting things happen. And although I like the liquid metaphor, I think maybe you pushed it a bit too far. But other than that, it was great. Thank you very much.
Okay, our third group is Walmart. Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Vasu. Nowadays, I wake up healthier, feeling good, and even looking younger. What's the magic? Walmart helps me live my life better. The Walmart family takes care of my needs.
We welcome her to the Walmart family with loyalty programs, priority counters, understanding her buying behavior. We keep a tab on her, what she needs and when she needs.
2 months ago, I wanted to bake a cake. No eggs. But now, in my smart home, that's not a problem anymore. How?
Walmart comes to your home with drones that take her order and delivers it within 30 minutes to your home. We have smart switches there and smart doors that open to allow these to come in.
The minute my eggs finish, the milk is no more, it needs replenishment, it's automated, it just needs a yes. Today, I wanted to bake a lotus cheesecake. When I said, Walmexa, full-fat mascarpone, are you sure? It said, you've added 2 kgs. I shrieked.
She is a part of the Walmart family. We are worried about her health. We have got in her home smart toilets that check her bacteria, smart floors that check her weight, smart mirrors that check her shape, and smart doors that open. Everything we do to make sure that she is healthy, because she's a part of our family.
This weight needs to come off. I need jogging shoes that I like. How am I going to do that?
We make shopping an experience because we have got an app that she can virtually go into our shop and select what she needs. But we know her shoe size because we have smart floors. What we give her as an option is the colors that she wants. 3 choices, you can pick one.
I'll go for the pink one. Thank you. Thank you.
And that's not all. Unlike Amazon, who is still in the cloud, Walmart is with you in your home. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And I first want to thank all 3 teams in my group as well. The voting was very close. We had amazing ideas come from vertical gardens, converting all stores to becoming an insurance broker. I think the passion, without practicing the chemistry between you two was evident immediately, right? Love the MTP, and love the punchline as well. I think similar to the first team, of course, core and edge, depending on which initiative you'll be pushing forward, is debatable and can be discussed after. But I really like the health aspect, right? And how can we become more than a service provider, but help you live this healthier life through a multitude of services and a lot of exponential technologies implemented in the home as well.
Well, thank you. It was amazing. Well, not only I love the performance, but also the concept itself. because I was feeling like the supermarket of the future, right? What is going to happen? Beyond Walmart, by the way. I wouldn't call it Walmart. I think that this is beyond Walmart. It could be something on top of Walmart and many other supermarkets where you have this smart agent, right? Providing to you everything that you might need. By listening to you, I was feeling everything. I mean, I was feeling the AI, the big data, the community, the feelings, talking with the family, and so on. So I think that you did a great job. And again, for me, it was a performance of the supermarket of the future. So hopefully we can see that happening because our life will be easier.
Similar comments there. The thought I would have is you could use AI pretty heavily in this model. And I didn't hear that expressed, but probably buried in there somewhere. But love the idea. Thank you.
Last team is Bayer. Please.
How are you feeling today?
Great.
How healthy are you feeling today? We'll help you with that. So we are Bayer, and we traditionally provided medicines and try to heal everybody. But now our MTP is we provide accessible wellness for everyone. So I'm sure all of you have faced this as when we go to the doctors and one doctor tells us, okay, this is the medicine you take, but then you wonder if that's the right medicine for you, and then you have to go to another person, another doctor, another expert and check. Sometimes we don't have the time to go to a doctor. Sometimes we only come to know of our disease right at the end, where probably there is not much to be done. Yeah, okay. So that's the problems that our consumers face. As a company, what we face is that we could have a lot of copycats in different countries who could probably develop a better drug for the same disease. So what do we do about that? And we spend a lot of money on R&D. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you the right medicine at the right time at an affordable price. Now, how are we going to do it? So we're going to get you the right medicine by leveraging wearable technology. So either we give you a watch or we develop an app for you on your phone, which you for sure take everywhere, including the smart toilets that Walmart gives you. And you will be able to diagnose whatever ailments you have because it tracks all your parameters. So that's how we're going to get you the right diagnosis. And we're going to connect you. We're going to crowdsource expert doctors from around the world. So you have the best treatment, perhaps even from your home country where you think they'll know your disease better if it's limited to a certain area. So that's how we're going to get you the right medicine at the right time, because we already know how you're going to be a few hours later, how you're going to be 10 days from now based on your history. And we're going to also track this history through insurance companies. And we're going to get it to you at an affordable price because we're going to share our formula with your local chemists. And what we're going to do is, how we're going to make money out of it is that from the technology of our wearables, the doctor referrals, because those doctors will come onto our platform because we're going to refer those doctors, the patients to you. And we're also going to give you a subscription model where we know what diseases may befall you, and we will customize it based on your genetics, which we will track, your DNA sequence, so we know what works exactly for you, so we will offer that to you. And from the money that we make off this, we're going to use a part of it to reach the remote areas where they don't have the doctors, and we're going to have our climate experts tell where the calamity will strike, and we will reach our medicines there first, and the rest will go for R&D, which we will crowdsource as well. Thank you.
Thank you, and First of all, I would like to give kudos to all the 3 teams in the Silver Group. They did an amazing job, and Sean and I, who coached the teams, were really amazed of the job and the work has been done and the insights generated. I should say that all 3 teams actually had a similar ideas coming out, which is also kind of amazing. And I think especially this team had a very interesting approach to this whole thing, the very hard problem to solve, which I also know a lot about really solving the core problems of healthcare. So I think this was an excellent idea of actually democratizing healthcare. So well done, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I love the MTP. I think it's awesome. Hopefully you can actually do it, because, or someone soon, because it would be amazing for the world. The fact that you are digitalizing the whole experience of the, right, from diagnostic into treatment and follow-up and so on is also very, very impressive. The way that you were using stuff on demand as well, and I think it's smart, right? Because sometimes we think about AI and only AI, and actually the most powerful combination is combining AI with a person, right? This is sometimes it's called mixed initiative, whatever, but it's a person with AI. And that would be my advice, right? To combine both of them, although I guess that you were thinking about it, or maybe you mentioned, but I didn't hear, but in any case, that would be very, very powerful. And well, I think that you were talking about budget, but I would put this in a meta level, right? Like booking.com or something like that, right? Because otherwise, again, very similar to the other project, you are constrained just by the drugs that, or medicines that Bayer can supply, right? But if you are on top of it, like a smart, intelligent assistant with devices, which I think is very, very smart as well. But if you are on top of Bayer and you can get supplies from any other pharma company, that's pretty awesome. So looking forward to seeing that happening.
So the one thing I would add to this is an interesting development that came up 2-3 years ago, which was the winning of the Tricorder X Prize. So the prize was, can you have a wireless handheld device? And the prize was $10 million if your handheld wireless diagnostic device can beat 10 board-certified doctors at doing a diagnosis. 3 years ago, that prize was won. So we now have a handheld device that can outperform 10 board-certified doctors, which has enormous implications for developing countries, emerging markets where there's a doctor per million citizens, or rural areas. So if you integrate, of course, hypochondriacs will love this particular gadget because you'll buy 2 of them because one of them must be wrong, type of thing. But if you engage that and incorporate that in your service, you add a whole other dimension to it. But love the overall idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have all the 3 bio teams here
please.
for the photograph? All 3.
Yeah, first you get the awards, and then all the teams from all the groups, all the winners on stage to get a lovely picture. And I think we can move this.
First of all, I want a round of applause for Tariq for organizing and hosting and bringing all this together. We have a lot of partners around the world, and it's great to have somebody with the sophistication and depth that Tariq brings to the equation. So huge acknowledgement and appreciation there. We've had quite a day. You've gone through quite a journey of understanding how disrupted the world is going to be, and is already happening in all sorts of domains, and hopefully that's kind of embedded in you in a pretty deep level. Hopefully you walk out of here never thinking about the world in the same way again. The second is what's possible with how we think about the world and where we can really add incredible amounts of value. We found that this model of a massive transformative purpose with the scale and ideas characteristics allows us to build organizations now in a totally new way. And so we have an enormous implication and possibilities there around how we navigate this. I love Francisco's framing of this, where he says in the future we won't be building startups, we'll be building EXOs, not just for private sector, but also for public sector. Right? And we're advising governments on how to think about this and operate in this way. Our MTP is literally to transform civilization. Because we've got some really fundamental issues in terms of a massive forcing function of technology. We have 20 Gutenberg moments hitting us at the same time. This is going to break all over the institutions that we used to run the world. And if we don't figure out how to navigate that and fix that and come up with new structures that map better to where technology is taking us, then we end up in a pretty big mess. If we look at civilizations of the past, the Incas, the Mayans, the Romans, etc., every single one got to a certain sophistication, very complex environments. Then they hit a boundary condition and they all collapsed. And when we look at historians that study this level, it seems that many of those factors are there today. And so we have to figure out how to navigate this and totally change paradigms in a totally different way. I mean, we have the capabilities and we have the tool sets. And it's encouraging to see people thinking in that way. And I really want to acknowledge you all for kind of grabbing this thinking by the horns and really going after it. So just wanted to wrap that up. And I just want to give a final thank you to Paul. Where's Paul? Is he here? So Paul, do you mind standing up? Paul, thank you very much for also being part of this journey. And really, the tireless coaching and thinking and enthusiasm, very un-Dutch in his own way to be like that, but there you go. So Paul, thank you very much. So thank you all. We'll be around for a little bit.
Yep.
What are we doing next?
What we're doing next is a group photograph for all the winners, and then a book signing. By the way, this is an unpublished edition. This is over $200 a pop because it's not published out there. It's not even available on Amazon. So you're very privileged to get this in advance, and hopefully a signed copy. And Salim and Francisco are going to be here. So picture the 4 teams that won, all of them up here, so they can take a photograph. Right. That'll be part of the memory. Yalla, come. Everybody. Make it really, really busy and full, and a picture, and then sign up. And then it's a wrap. That's the end of that. So can you just queue up from here? For the book, that way. And then you get it signed and you can basically rock and roll after that.